The Chambers of Xeric has literally taken over my life. Hey guys, what is up? It is No Help and welcome back to another video today. And so in today's video, we're going to be talking about the Chambers of Xeric and how it has really taken over my life. Now, usually with content in RuneScape, I learn in a couple of days, no problem, and that's about it. Even with some bosses, it might take me, say, a week to kind of get good at, but then I'm good at the content and I can do it over and over and over again. But with the Chambers of Xeric, it's been quite different. Like most things on this game, there's a learning element to it, and it's either easy, hard, or very, very difficult, right? And raids are something you're kind of meant to be done with like multiple different people, right? Especially the Chambers of Xeric is meant to be done with more than one person. And I've been trying to learn the solo method. Now, what I've learned about the Chambers of Xeric so far, timing is key, and you want to be like basically tick perfect, which is something that I've really never been any good at in RuneScape. Now, I've been playing this game for 15 years now, and I kind of like when there's something that I kind of can't do, or I really have to try in order to do it. Now, the Chambers of Xeric has definitely been in my top 5, I would say, hardest things that I've ever done. You know, Song of the Elves really comes to mind when I think about this. When that quest first came out, I died at the boss countless times before I was able to ever actually complete the quest. And I was really stumbled on what to do, what type of gear to bring. And it's really cool that a game can make you kind of do this after playing the game for 15 years. This is also partially my fault because pre-EOC and way before then even, like I was like a skiller, not a killer, and I always liked skilling and doing skilling activities more than PVM, and this really kind of set me back in a way, and it was only ever since I maxed my Ironman account that I really took PVM seriously. Whenever I show this game to a bunch of my friends, it's like a very simplistic game, right? And it seems like it's very easy type of game from like the outside perspective of it, right? Especially if you're doing something simplistic like training agility or training woodcutting, right? It seems like you're not even really playing the game. You're kind of just clicking something and waiting for it, kind of like an idle or a phone game. But when you really dive deep into PVM in this game, it's some of the most complex types of combat that I've ever actually experienced in any game that I've ever played. RuneScape works off of a tick system, and basically a tick is 0.6 seconds, and there's a lot of activities in this game that you have to be basically tick perfect on, or you mess the action up and you pretty much screw up the fight. Now, there's so many different ways of actually learning the tick system, and I highly recommend anyone that wants to really learn this to do the Corrupted Gauntlet. The Corrupted Gauntlet actually taught me so much about PVM. It taught me about prayer switching, timing, different gear switching, different mechanics. You have to run and avoid things that fall from the sky. The Corrupted Gauntlet is really one of the best things that I think people can, if they want to start to learn PVM, can learn, because it really teaches you all of the basic mechanics of most fights in the game, and it is a tough challenge. It took me months and months to learn it and actually be able to get consistent kills at it, and I feel like this is something that you should all start if you want to do any type of content in this game, whether it be something as simple as killing, say, the giant mole or Vorkath or even Zulrah, all the way to doing end level raids. For me, playing RuneScape has always been about setting goals for myself, whether it be to achieve a level, to achieve an item, to achieve amount of gold, whatever it is. Like setting a goal has really motivated me to keep playing the game. Now, there's times where I'm like really demotivated to play the game when I feel like there's nothing for me to do or no goal that I have in mind, and I kind of just go back to training Slayer, doing farming until I find another goal. And there's times where I don't even feel like logging in because, you know, there's no goal in mind. So I always highly recommend that you guys have a goal to do, whether it be, you know, learning a new piece of content, obtaining amount of GP to buy a certain item like a twisted bow or something like that. You always should have a goal when playing this game. And right now my goal is to learn the Chambers of Xeric. Now, usually when I set myself a goal to learn something, like I said, it takes a couple of days or, maybe up to a week to really master and get good at. But something like a raid is really something you really have to dedicate yourself to really get good at. Now, with the Chambers and Xeric in particular, I find it to be a timing kind of game, especially for the final boss, the Olm. Basically, you have to be pretty much tick perfect at this boss to end up getting consistent kills and being very good at it and getting a deathless kill, which I still haven't done yet. I'm currently doing the suicide method where I get a bunch of supplies, walk into the room, and purposely die just so that I can get better at the boss. And this will still allow you to get pretty decent points to where you could be obtaining purples from the chest. But when I say this raid has really taken over my life, it really has, man. All of my spare time, I'm looking up guides, reading the wiki, reading different Reddit forums and articles on how to actually be better and how to take on this raid and end up killing the Olm. For getting the achievement diary cape, you actually have to complete a Chambers of Xeric, and I did that a long time ago with a couple of work friends. Actually, I had a friend that I got into RuneScape, and he ended up playing it quite a bit and made like a main account, and I don't know if he ever maxed it, but he got pretty far, like at least 2,000 total level, and was making a ton of money, getting a bunch of 99s, and he started doing a bunch of raids. And one of his friends that he had on Discord played RuneScape as well, and he knew how to do the Chambers of Xeric, and he kind of like walked me through a raid. I really didn't know what was going on. I probably died 10-15 times, but I at least got the completion for the achievement diary, and I haven't really ever touched it since. It's a piece of content that I've really held off because I was honestly scared of the raid. I really knew it was going to take a lot of me to actually get up and do it and become a master at it, and even just to get a couple of kills, it has really taken me quite a long time. I would say I put at least 100 hours into this grind already. Maybe not 100 hours of in-game time, but a lot of like on my off time while I'm on my breaks at work and whatever it is, I'm researching it and trying to get better and better and learning different mechanics and different knowledge of other people about this raid. And just in a couple of short weeks, I'm able to do suicide runs almost every single time, where I'm getting about 25 to 27,000 raid points every single raid. And I've managed to actually get myself one purple, and I got the Augury Prayer. I also did get Preserve, which is an uncommon drop, but it is still something that I never had on my account before. The one thing I want to say to everyone that's maybe trying to learn the Chambers or trying to learn any piece of content in this game, even if you go in and just die or don't really seem like you're learning something, every single time you attempt it, you will learn something different. When I first started learning the Chambers here, and I was just dying and dying and dying, and I really didn't know what was going on, I felt like I was never getting anywhere, and I was trying to look up the most things as possible, and I still kept failing. I think the thing is, with some pieces of content in the game, no matter how many guides you watch, you could just research it for forever, and you're still gonna feel like you're not making any progress until you actually get into the fight or get into whatever piece of content it is, and you actually do it yourself multiple times. Then you will kind of start to realize something will click, and maybe it's not the best way to do it. Maybe you're gonna get us like a 1 or 2% chance better every single time. The more you do it, the better you will get. Yeah, this is the one piece of content that has really stumped me, where really no guides or anything were of much help. Like, I mean, some of them definitely were, but like not to the extent where I could just do it perfectly, right? Like usually you watch a woodcutting guide and you start training woodcutting, you know exactly what you're doing, but something like doing solo chambers, not so much. And like you learn like little stupid things too, like pushing the boulder will get you extra points, or say lighting more logs during a certain room will get you more points, right? It's just one of those things that just takes time. Even for me right now, I get like 5 kills in a row where I just do the one death, and I feel like I'm good and confident at it. And then I'll log in the next day and just do like, I just wipe like a million times, and I'm like, did I learn anything? You just got to keep up with it. Alright, so see right here, we're at 12,600 points. If I just push this boulder instead of walking around, We're at 13.2, just a little tip that I've learned. But yeah, it's not very often where a piece of RuneScape content like takes over my life like the Chambers of Xeric has. Like, I'm usually like okay with logging off, forgetting about the game. Usually, like the way my schedule is now, like on the weekends, I don't play the game at all. I'm literally not even in the town that I live in. I'm hanging out with my girlfriend in another town. So I usually just shut RuneScape off for a couple of days and not even really think about it or think about like YouTube or anything like that at all. Of course, I like go onto the studio app and check all of the comments and stuff like that, but for the most part, I'm not really thinking about RuneScape. It's really funny because like my girlfriend will go to the washroom or whatever, and then she'll come back and I'll be on my phone on like some Reddit page looking up a way to kill Ohm, and she's like, what the fuck are you doing? Or she'll walk in and there'll be this YouTube video playing about how to do like a 4-0 Ohm kill, and she's like, what the fuck are you watching? I'm honestly having a blast doing the Chambers of Xeric. I'm having a lot more fun than I thought I would. Obviously, like, it is a grind at the end of the day, and it kind of sucks going in and not knowing exactly on how to do everything and messing up a lot and like having to use a lot of food and stuff like that. But like I said, every single time you go into the room, you learn a little bit more every single time, even if it's just like a 1% better every single time. Eventually, I'll be able to do the mage hand, no problem at all. I'm already getting into the rhythm a little bit here and there. I mess up and then I have to get back into the rhythm. But once I get into the rhythm of something, it feels good. As for the 4-to-1 method or the 3-to-1 method, I'm getting there. I'm probably at the 3-to-1 right now, not quite to the 4-to-1 yet, but I will eventually get there. And as for the head phase, it either goes extremely well or I just fuck up so bad and I just sip like 10 brews and whatever. But once you get into the rhythm of it, it's just so much fun. Once you're in the rhythm of it, it's just the most fun I've literally like ever had on the game. And it's something you can't really even explain, right? Like, you have to be tick perfect at this thing. So once you kind of get into the rhythm and you're doing it, it's just like, please don't mess up. I'm doing this perfect. It's fun. Obviously, making the potions every single raid takes a lot of time and it's really frustrating to do, but it's something that I definitely wish was an option with, like, say, TOA, for example. When I was learning that and you ran out of potions, it was game over. At least with the Chambers of Xeric, you can make it like unlimited amount of potions and then kind of just take on the raid and see how well you do. And this is a good way to actually learn. You're lying. The raid we died a few times at tonight, we get a freaking purple chest and it says it's a dexterous prayer scroll. Bro, no way. Is this the one for rigor? Oh my god, are you kidding me, man? I literally almost killed the head phase. It was at 17 HP, and I freaking just didn't eat because I'm cocky now, and died, and we get a purple chest. But you love to see it, man. We now have rigor. Oh, that's going to help a lot. Well, if that doesn't prove to you that you can get a purple with 11,000 points, then I don't know what does. That was an awful run, and of course, we got the prayer scroll. So now we have rigor, we have augury, we can take on the Chambers of Xeric at full potential now, and I'm so excited. So there's this website that you can actually do the Chambers of Xeric simulator drop. So we were getting about, say, 25 to 28,000 points a game. So we'll just put it at 25,000. And basically, you can complete 10 raids and see what you would ideally get from that amount of points. So as you can see, just in these 70 raids, we've gotten 2 uniques so far. So it's definitely possible to obtain your uniques. And within these 110 raids, we've gotten 2 dexterous, so we got all the prayer scrolls plus 2 other uniques. We'll set it to 100, and as you can see, the uniques just keep flying. And how long is it going to be until, oh, there we go with a Kodai. How long is it going to be until we get a twisted bow? As you can see, 1520 kills. We can reset this again and go for another twisted bow chance. We got the claws there, 2 claws, 3 claws. Twisted bow at 1700. keep going. We'll reset this twisted bow at 500 kills. So as you can see, it's definitely possible with the suicide method to obtain a twisted bow, and I think that's what I'm gonna actually try to do, is go for a couple of the uniques from the Chambers of Xeric and maybe get that twisted bow. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching the video today. I will catch you guys in the next one. See ya later.